Success demands exclusivity. It's important to understand once you start achieving exceptional success or you start navigating spaces that are exceptionally prominent and powerful, there are typically going to be two types of people that you have to look out for. The first group of individuals are those who are interested in bringing you down to their level. So also known as, tall poppy syndrome, crabs in a bucket mentality. But then the other group of individuals that you have to watch out for are those who are interested in taking your place. They're interested in becoming your replacement. So when you are navigating successful spaces, you're experiencing some kind of exponential success in your life, you have to be just as prepared for the pitfalls and the challenges as you are the benefits and the blessings. And this could be better understood by actually revisiting an excerpt in the book Green Eyes that talks specifically about how when you move up the ladder, and the book it specifically references rank, right, in respects to the game of chess, that's when you have to implement even more exclusivity. And this goes beyond just, this you can't sit with us mentality, even though I like to reference it, just for, nostalgia's sake. It goes beyond that, right? Having a chip on one's shoulder, as much as it's about understanding the fact that with blessings typically comes battles. And as I alluded to earlier, it's important to embrace the fact that you typically are going to come across two types of individuals as you start to become more and more successful. As stated previously, those who are interested in bringing you down to their level out of maybe some feelings of jealousy, envy, and inadequacy, as well as individuals who are feeling like in order to attain the success that they're trying to achieve, they have to get you out of the way, right? So they're viewing you as a competitor. You all are already operating in the same spaces, but for some reason, you pose a threat to their ulterior motive. So nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and read from that section to explain this principle a little bit more. Exclusivity and limited access can be better understood with respect to value assessment. Whatever you cherish and value, you must protect. In reference to the chessboard, know your king and protect it at all costs, meaning whatever is the most valuable asset on the board or in life, never forsake it and always protect it. Now, for those who are familiar with this channel, you all have heard me talk about exclusivity, understanding that when you start to achieve some kind of success, how you have to implement this principle even more. But for this analysis today, I want to talk about this from another angle because I want to differentiate operating with a chip on your shoulder versus you acknowledging the fact that you will come across certain people who are trying to put you in harm's way, whether it be in actuality or symbolically, right? Whether it be your reputation or your progress, because they view you as a threat or a competitor. And in this regard, I want to highlight navigating systems of power yet again, because I really feel compelled to hone in on this symbolic lion's den, talking to you guys a little bit more about workplace and office politics, because a lot of the time you all aren't necessarily prepared for the predatory personalities that you're going to come up against in these spaces. A lot of you all feel blindsided by the fact that you're constantly being backstabbed in a professional capacity, that people are going behind your back and putting in bad words regarding references and opportunities. Or maybe even you're dealing with someone who is constantly firing you, right? You deal with these supervisors, these bosses, or these coworkers who put you in a position to where you're being wrongfully terminated. All of these instances typically happen because people are not equipped. They don't have the necessary weaponry to prepare for these inevitable battles. Considering the fact that professional spaces are connected to a lot of people's livelihood, for a lot of individuals, their job, their position within a company is all that they have. And it's not just contingent upon them taking care of themselves, but their loved ones. And for people who don't necessarily operate with the moral compass, they'll do any and everything to make sure that they keep their job or they attain a particular position. And if you are the kind of person who you believe in the fact that, well, I can utilize my resourcefulness, or I know my work ethic it's pretty decent, so I'm not too worried about, losing an opportunity because I know I can get another one, or I'm not worried about my ability to carry out my task in this workplace because I know I work hard. but you're around, certain colleagues, certain peers who they don't have that same level of confidence. And it might be rooted in the fact that their work ethic may not be as strong as yours, or they may not have the professional experience that you have. Instead, they utilize these interpersonal tactics to cancel out their competition. And that's what I want to hone in on when I dissect these systems of power and the symbolic lion's den. Just because you're playing fair and square does not mean that your colleagues, your coworkers, your supervisors, etc., operate with the same principle or the same strategy. So nevertheless, when I talk about exclusivity in the context of the analysis today, I want to warn you all of essentially people being planted in your life, people who are trying to position themselves into your life with the sole purpose of hindering your progress or sabotaging everything that you've worked hard to build. Because if someone acknowledges the fact that they can't necessarily throw you off of your game, your work ethic, your tenacity, what they will do is they'll hit you where it hurts. They'll send someone into your life, no matter how long it takes for them to form a special bond with you, right? Or to get you to open up and to trust. They will send somebody with sinister intentions, sinister motives into your life to hit you where it hurts, to get intel about your plans, your goals, your vulnerabilities, your shortcomings, your weaknesses, and weaponize that information against you. And to provide some context as far as how this happens, I'm actually going to read from an excerpt in the book, In the Lion's Den, Navigating Systems of Power. And the excerpt is titled Espionage. And it reads, a last-ditch effort, yet an exceptionally efficient strategy, is spying on an adversary. Although this is often a sign that the target is executing well, this is one of the most difficult tactics to detect due to its concealment. An acute adversary will learn the art of attracting bees with honey. The perceptive have learned that abrasive and apparent attacks cause an opponent to put an immediate guard up. Furthermore, this hinders useful access and information that will help an individual gain knowledge of a competitor's intentions and agendas. So understanding this power play, as what was read in the excerpt, is realizing that when someone is trying to align themselves with your life, your progress, your personal goals, they understand the principle of attracting more bees with honey, meaning that it's not going to come packaged in an abrasive manner or, an off-putting manner. They are going to be complimentary. They're going to be kind. They may even extend some kind of generosity to you with the sole purpose of disarming your defenses. Now, another thing to prepare for is this. And this ties back to the point that I just now made regarding the generosity piece. Some people who have intentions to hinder your progress, to ruin everything that you've built, they will extend generosity to you with the sole purpose of disarming you, to disarming your defenses. So you even have to be mindful of individuals who are positioning themselves in your life, right? When we talk about this in a professional capacity, and they're extending an opportunity to you. You have to make sure that you do not allow that generosity to weaken your defenses, because there are going to be some opportunities that are presented to you, especially if people see that you are gaining some kind of momentum in a respective area, or you just have a lot of potential. You're really excellent, or you put in some kind of exceptional work in whatever your field is, whatever your respective profession is. You have to understand that some people will even extend offers to you, extend opportunities to you with the sole purpose of pulling the rug right from underneath your feet. And that can be better understood by revisiting the section titled The Pull the Rug Technique excerpt in the book Green Eyes. Nevertheless, I want to build upon the point that I just now made, though, regarding there are going to be some people who are aligning themselves through this lens of generosity and kindness, being super compassionate, being super empathetic, blase. But the sole purpose of them doing this is to put you in a position to where they tear everything down that you've built. And to provide some additional context on how this happens, I'm going to read from another excerpt in the book In the Lion's Den, Navigating Systems of Power. And the section is titled, Don't Take the Poison. And the excerpt reads, be cautious before jumping into opportunities. If you're not careful, you may agree to something harmful, disguised as a chance for growth. You may not realize you're on the verge of a significant breakthrough until you mistakenly align yourself with someone threatened by your potential. And this is prevalent in professional spaces because a lot of the time, before people pose an attack to you, they'll present an opportunity your way. They'll present you with a resource, a connection, or they will just align themselves with your life with a lot of flattery and compliments and seemingly being so concerned about your whereabouts and what you're up to, what you're doing. And you don't understand the fact that this person is only trying to get up under you to pose a threat to you. Another reason to prepare for exclusivity as you climb up this ladder of success, and success is subjective, whatever success means to you, which really just looks like you achieving your personal goals, defeating odds. This other thing to prepare for are for those who were counted out. You have to prepare for retaliation. The people who counted you out are typically going to be filled with an exceptional amount of venom if they feel like you proved them wrong. This phenomenon could be better understood by reading an excerpt in The Lion's Den, Navigating Systems of Power, titled "One's Vindication is Not Always a Depiction of Victory to Defeated Foes. It's an opportunity for vengeance." And the excerpt reads, "Recovery is a journey that may involve both reconciliation attempts and reignited conflicts. Some people may feel threatened by your redemption, interpreting it as a personal loss or source of embarrassment. Others may view your redemption as a direct attack on their ego and reputation. These individuals will exhaust every resource to protect what they perceive as their legacy of dominance." So in sum, implementing exclusivity as you achieve success has less to do with an ego boost. Instead, it has everything to do with implementing a necessary protective measure. All right, babes, that's all that I have for this analysis today, talking a little bit more about why exclusivity is important as you begin to achieve success. Of course, I want to hear you all's comments, your opinions, and your personal experiences in the comment section below. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, and I look forward to speaking to you guys in the next one. Take care, babes.